I think he is inaccurate. I think that Nagy hides a lot of his flaws through these trickery plays and letting him run all around the field. I think Trubisky's a turnover-prone quarterback, so I think that they're going to get to him a lot this year. Also, Matthew Stafford, he's coming off the worst year of his career statistically, but he's always been that aggressive kind of thrower, that gunslinger mentality, who tends to turn the ball over a lot. And also, the Vikings just cream him every time they play him. I mean, I want to know the stats they have against Matt Stafford sack-wise, because it seems like every time Stafford steps into the U.S. Bank Stadium, he just gets absolutely creamed. Case Keenum, our old boy, or Dwayne Haskins when they play the Redskins. Regardless, Dwayne Haskins, we've seen in preseason, he's a rookie. You know how Zimmer does against rookies. He likes to confuse them and stunt them. You have to expect he's going to turn it over a couple times. Case Keenum, we know he's kind of got that gunslinger mentality. Another couple quarterbacks they play are Joe Flacco. I mean, Joe Flacco probably shouldn't be a starting quarterback right now, so you have to assume that he's going to be turnover prone. Derek Carr, the Raiders, they are all turnover prone quarterbacks. So right there, you've got 4, 5, 6, those are 7 quarterbacks right there, just off the top of my head that I can think of right now, that you know you're going to get at least a couple of turnovers against. So that's why I'm leaning towards the Vikings defense as my number 3. Number 2, and when I say this name, you're going to say, oh my gosh, did you leave the other one out? And yes, I did, and I'll explain to you why. Number 2 is Stefon Diggs. This type of offense, Stefon Diggs will thrive in. The play action, the comeback routes, the skinny posts. If this was a spread offense, I would take Adam Thielen. The only reason why Adam Thielen is not on my top 3, he would be my 4, but it's a top 3 list, is because this is more of a one-back I formation type of offense, which means, let's be honest, Stefon Diggs is a better route runner than Adam Thielen. And I don't want to take anything away from Adam. I love Adam. He's my favorite. I mean, he's one of my favorite players to watch. He's obviously made a tremendous career out of an undrafted free agent. We know all of this. But Stefon Diggs is more of a pretty much all put together kind of wide receiver. Not saying Thielen doesn't have this, I'm just saying that speed-wise, Diggs, route running-wise, Diggs, hands-wise, Diggs. I mean, that's just, he's more polished than Adam Thielen. So I think that Diggs is going to really thrive in this offense. When you look at his ability to route run, the comeback routes, the skinny post, this is what happens in a one-back play-action type of formula. That's the type. The spread is where you see, go routes and you see, slant, all this kind of stuff, more of like a spread type of offense. Thielen is a lot better in. Thielen's still going to put up numbers, but I would still go with Diggs. I also think that the attention this year is going to go to Adam Thielen. There is no one that doesn't know Adam Thielen now. I mean, let's be honest. That was the whole running joke. When is Adam Thielen going to get his respect? He's got his respect now. He's got his money. He's got his respect. People know him. So I think that when you're game planning for the Vikings, I think that number 1 on their chart will be defending Adam Thielen over Stefon Diggs, which is why I think Stefon Diggs will have a huge breakout year this year, even though he had a great year last year. That's why he is number 2 on this list. Number 1 here. And not only is this my number 1 fantasy pick for the Vikings, this is also the probably most important piece to this puzzle in the 2019-2020 Minnesota Vikings season. That is Dalvin Cook. I just want to read you some stats here that I found interesting. In 7 career games with 13-plus touches, and that's pretty scary that he's only gotten the ball 13-plus times in 7 games. He's only played in 16 career. But in 7 career games with 13-plus touches, Dalvin Cook is averaging 19 points per game, fantasy-wise. Do that for an entire year, and we're talking about 300 points and a surefire first-string running back in fantasy. The improved offensive line, the Gary Kubiak effect, I think this all is going to basically, for me, I think Dalvin Cook can be a top 5 running back in this league. I really do believe. I think he's got the talent. I think he's got the work ethic. I think he's got the speed. I think he's got the strength. His versatility is bar none. And I think that this year, durability-wise, which has always been the biggest question with Dalvin, if they are able to keep him on his feet, and this offensive line is what you expect them to be. Not great, just good. I think this is one of those situations that Dalvin Cook can be a top 10 pick in a fantasy draft. And maybe you'd slap me for saying that right now, but I think when you look at everything around him and you look at the improved offensive line and you look at the way Gary Kubiak's style is and how he's kind of shown that off early in preseason, that they're going to run, that we're going to go play action, and you know that he's able to catch out of the backfield, so he's able to catch screen passes. We know Kirk Cousins likes to check down the ball. I think this is all brewing for a monstrous year for Dalvin Cook. And that's why he's number 1 on this list. Call me crazy for keeping Adam Thielen out of my top 3, but I still think if I had to pick Diggs or Thielen for this year in fantasy, I'm picking Diggs. But back to Dalvin Cook, man. Dalvin Cook has a rare opportunity to rewrite his script, because the last 2 years, the first thing you think of Dalvin Cook, and this is just the God honest truth, when you think Dalvin Cook, the first thing you think is he healthy? Is he okay? Is he injured? Is he practicing this week? Because that's what it's been. And unfortunately for him, he tore his ACL early in his rookie year, and then that kind of hindered him going into his sophomore year. We know how they do the ACL tears now. They take a piece of your hamstring and they attach it to your knee. So obviously his hamstrings are a little weak, and that's why he was struggling last year. But Mike Zimmer has openly come out and said that he looks the best he's ever seen him. So we'll take his word by it. But Vikings defense at 3, Stephon Diggs at 2, and Dalvin Cook is my number 1 fantasy pick for all Vikings players. Love it or leave it, Matty Augusta, he is up next here on the Strom Sports Show. Now, some will say that this might be the highlight of the show. Love it or leave it, it's back and better than ever. I know we haven't done it in a few weeks here. Matt's been busy, I've been busy. We're on different type of times here. Matt, welcome back onto the show. You know he's my video editor, so now he has a spot on the Love It or Leave It show. Matt, how's everything, buddy boy?
It's good to be back on. I know Steve was on vacation, so I know that the show is back up, and I'm back for Love It or Leave It.
All right, what do you got for me today? Matt usually gives me 3 to 4 topics. I told him to be prepared today. Nah, he usually is, but he was. He came here, he was ready to record, so let's hear what you got for me, Ags.
All right, topic number 1 comes from Bleacher Report. They put out a screenshot of Chase Winovich posted an Instagram photo.
Okay.
And it was kind of philosophical. He said, "Loneliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then looks upon the ladder, turns his back, looks into the clouds, scoring the base by degrees, and by which he did ascend. Julius Caesar." And he puts a picture of himself on the Patriots sideline.
Okay.
Tom Brady then comments, "Study your playbook."
Oh.
And then this kind of got blown out of proportion, saying Brady keeps his rookies in check. Steve, do you like this? Or
well, first of all, it's obviously not serious. So I obviously, like, Tom Brady's joking around. I don't know what that quote was. Way too much for me. I don't even know how to break that down. Look, I think it's, I always think that, especially since it's a quarterback to a defensive, player, I think it's always good to have a connection in that way. I think a lot of times in football, you're so close to your individual group. For example, the wide receiver core, they're all like best friends usually. It's very kind of rare, I think, to see like a quarterback and like linebacker be, best friends kind of thing. I'm not saying they're best friends, but I like this. I think that it shows that the Patriots do have fun, and I think that's been a misconception throughout this whole dynasty. Like, you've had guys like Gronk who have come in there, parties, been loose. You have now, Tom Brady, commenting on this guy's Instagram and just showing that it's not like, they talk about being like a prison camp there kind of thing. So I think it is good for him to be able to have maybe a open side to him.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think another part of it is the fact it's the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Like, if it were like, I don't know, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ooh, we were both thinking the Jags.
If it was like Nick Foles saying this to like Jalen Ramsey or like a rookie on that team.
Yeah, it would not be. No, it wouldn't be a story. No.
It wouldn't be a story. It'd be like, you can't talk because,
Right, 100%.
I like when players are active on social media. I think it's pretty funny.
It's good for the league, too.
It is.
It's good for the fans. I 100% agree.
And especially someone like Brady who gets a lot of crap for what he posts on social media. Yeah. It's funny that he can be, like, funny on it.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, so I don't mind it. I think it's good for the league.
So you love it or leave it, or what are you thinking?
I love it. I'll love it.
Yeah. All right.
I was going to say but I love it.
You can always like it. There's always a middle ground to it.
No, I love it because he's a rookie, so it's funny.
Okay. Let me see his hair real quick. Wow, he has good locks. It kind of looks like a little. I think it looks better than Clay Matthews, to be honest with you. And this is a kid from Michigan, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. They have the Michigan connection. Duh. Okay. All right. So now everything's putting all together. All right. What's the next one, Matt?
All right. Topic 2. Odell Beckham. He's never always not in the news. So
shocker, you bring him up. This is your guy right here.
My guy.
Yeah.
All right. So New York Giants owner John Mara was with his 7-year-old grandson when someone asked the kid to pick his favorite Giant. He asked Mara, saying, "Grandpa, can I still say Odell?"
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, if I'm Mara, I'm leaving this. But if I'm a fan, I love this. I think this is very interesting. Well, first of all, Gettleman was the one who traded him away, so that's number one, I think.
Yeah, he was. But this is something I want to note. Mara never liked Odell. In October of last year, he said, "I think he needs to do a little more playing and a lot less talking."
Yeah. No, there was definitely some animosity.
Yeah, I think it was definitely an inside decision to move him. They were all in agreement, the whole front office.
This is basically like saying, say I had an ex-girlfriend and my little sister said, "Oh, we miss this ex-girlfriend." That's basically what it is.
Right.
I mean, that's basically what the kind of relationship is. He's a little kid, so obviously got to cut him some slack.
He's thinking what every Giant fan's thinking.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Well, Odell was the one that gave him that juice, that energy to the city, to the team. They have that, though, with Saquon. So I can't even, sit here and feel bad. They have – if there was any guy, I think, in the league that you would want to swap with in terms of, charisma, energy – that like I said, that Big Apple kind of feel, I think it would be someone like Saquon Barkley because he's electric. He's a fan favorite, and he's obviously, I think he's handled the media better than anyone that I've seen thus far in the league. So
also because Cleveland is not a big media market, so it's easier to handle Cleveland media than New York media. But so we're recording here on a Friday. When I read this article, I think it was Wednesday, and I kind of misread it at first. I was like, "Oh, did John Mara say that?"
Oh,
my favorite. I was going to hammer this.
I was going
to hammer this. And
that would create a huge rift.
I know, and the article didn't really clarify that it was his son. His grandson. And then, I would have hammered that. But I think this is great.
How do you even handle that if you're I wonder what you would say back. "Oh, Odell is not with us anymore." What do you even say to him after that?
I don't know. I don't think the grandson knew that he's in an interview, a serious interview.
Yeah.
But I love it.
That's good. That's good. All right, what do you got for me? Last one?
Yep. Final topic of the day is so everyone is a fan of Hard Knocks here.
Yes.
HBO is developing a Hard Knocks style show for college football.
Oh, I heard this.
So the report goes from Devil's Digest, which is an Arizona State blog, and they said HBO has chosen 4 college programs to run a Hard Knocks-like show later in the season.
And who are they?
Penn State, Bama, Washington State, Arizona State.
Oh, my God. Wow.
And I'm telling you, this is better than Hard Knocks for the NFL.
How about the cast of characters? You've got Nick Saban, the GOAT of college football. You've got my guy, Mike Leach, the air raid god. He's a philosophical... I'm reading his book right now. If you have a chance, it's called Swing Your Sword. This guy is intellectually ahead of everyone else. He went to law school. He had never played a snap of football in his life, and he is obviously coaching at Washington State. You've got Herm Edwards at Arizona State.
And then James Franklin. Who the Penn State fans just hate.
See, this is, with Hard Knocks this year, you want to get a good cast of characters. That's why they chose Oakland, John Gruden, AB. It's already selling. This is the same way, same thought process in college football. Get the 4 most interesting coaches right now and throw them together. Now, the one thing I'll say about this is the topic of, now we're going to basically flaunt them, take all their revenue that they create, and now we're going to make a TV show out of them. Are they going to get paid?
I was thinking that too. I'm like, if this is the step, then just make the NCAA video game ready.
Exactly. Are you kidding me? So now we're going to make TV shows out of them. And here's another thing. You got to be really careful because in the NFL you can get away with certain things. If you're in college and you're saying certain things and you already know what I'm saying, it's locker room talk kind of thing. If it comes off differently for an 18-year-old kid compared to a 27-year-old veteran.
Right.
And that's just the bottom line. And that could affect their draft stock. That can affect certain things.
But one thing I will say, though, is that I feel like this is going to help recruit. Like, recruits